everybody. Welcome to another Money Monday. I'm just finishing up a quick snack so I'd have the energy to complete our little webinar here. Hi, Rosemary. Thanks for being here. Let me know how the sound is. Too soft, too loud? It looks pretty loud from my end. All right, I'm just going to take a drink here. We'll get going here in just a sec. Let's go ahead and start sharing my screen. This is going to be a really good training, I think. I mean, I really think I do, all my trainings are really good, but I think this one you might find especially interesting. You know, I really put some heart into it, as I mentioned in the ad. I spent the last 3 hours or so putting together this training and didn't take the time to eat, so I had to make sure I did that real quick. All right, let's go ahead and jump in. And let me zoom in so you guys can see this even better. Okay, so today's topic for our Money Monday live webinar is crypto, friend or foe. And I'll be curious to see what you all think about the information that I share with you today once we get into it. Feel free to leave any comments in the chat, or if you come up with some thoughts afterwards, feel free to email me, or you can post them. You can post them in the MasterMind. All right, hello, Let's Crypto Mastermind members. Welcome to our last August webinar on investment planning. I'm your host, Kelly Sunshall. Today's event is special because I wish to speak to you heart to heart and person to person. The focus today is crypto, your friend or your foe. Before jumping into the webinar, I invite you to join our mastermind of learners, contributors, and partners if you're not already a mastermind member. Our Let's Crypto Mastermind is a little bit different from other crypto groups that I've participated in. We don't just talk about making money with crypto. We also focus on changes happening in our financial systems and how we might benefit from those changes, and where the ISO 20022 tokens fit into this whole scheme. So if any of this sounds interesting to you, please consider joining our Let's Crypto Mastermind using the link that I'll either have in the comments or the description, depending on where this video ends up. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to start with just a little bit of history. Now, when I first got involved with crypto in 2015, there were two prominent discussions on the internet. One revolved around Bitcoin becoming a new payment system and upending the banks. The other revolved around Ethereum becoming a world computer and upending personal computing devices. I became interested in Bitcoin as a payment system because I wanted to help my accounting clients save money on bank merchant service fees. And at the time, I could find very little information about Bitcoin as an investment. Unfortunately, the lure of Bitcoin as a payment system for businesses to reduce bank fees never really materialized. And after Bitcoin, the new kid on the block became Ethereum. And it was advertised as being a decentralized world computer. And at the time, to be honest, I had no idea what that really meant. But I thought it sounded kind of cool. A world computer, a computer that's, the world computer operating over the internet, meaning I don't need a PC. I wasn't sure how that was going to happen, but I joined in thinking that it sounded kind of neat. Over time, I did notice that the discussion of Ethereum as a world computer faded, and it shifted to Ethereum as a smart contract platform. And for a while, I didn't really understand what that meant either. So I really had to do a lot of work getting myself educated for the first few years that I was involved with crypto. And even though I didn't understand the Ethereum blockchain, I decided I didn't want to miss another investment opportunity. So after selling all my Bitcoin, I bought Ether. All right, let's fast forward to today. Since the early days of crypto, much has changed. It has evolved to the point of becoming a behemoth. To understand what's happening in crypto today, we must focus on specific narratives, i.e., choose a niche and study it. I've had to do the same thing. And I don't focus on the metaverse or gaming or NFTs or gambling. And those are all niches or narratives within the overall crypto space. I mainly focus on decentralized finance. But these days, even DeFi has become such a vast topic that we must also select specific narratives within DeFi. And I'll discuss what those are at a future webinar. It's not pertinent to today's topic. As crypto continues to evolve, it will develop more and more specialties, making it very difficult for the average person to know what to do with it. And with that in mind, and after watching crypto develop for almost 10 years, I've come to recognize two different crypto camps. People who choose to play with crypto tend to fall into one of these two categories. And this is my different perspective, as I call it. Over the years, I have talked to hundreds, if not thousands of people about crypto. I began preparing crypto taxes in 2017, and I started my crypto education business in 2018. And since then, I've developed a thesis about two types of crypto people. And here's what I call them. The ISO 2022 and the non-ISO 2022 people. I see a typo. Now, what does that really mean? And to make it easy on my mouth, I'm not going to say ISO 20022 over and over again. I'll probably just use the word ISO. So what does that mean? In simple terms, for me, it means that non-ISO people want to operate independently of the existing financial system, while ISO people want to be included in the existing financial system. So you might think about that for a minute. Where do you think you fit in one of these two categories that I've identified? Do you relate to being a non-ISO person or an ISO person? So before we go further about what these two things mean that I just brought up, we're going to have to define what the ISO 20022 standard means. ISO 20022 is a global messaging standard for financial information exchange between banking institutions and payment systems like SWIFT. I'm going to read that again. The ISO 20022 standard is a global messaging standard for financial information exchange between banking institutions and payment systems like SWIFT. It provides a common language and a structure for data. The goal of this standard is to replace diverse messaging formats with a unified approach that will increase efficiency, accuracy, and automation in worldwide data exchanges. Crypto projects that are ISO compliant can seamlessly integrate into traditional financial systems by leveraging its standardized messaging framework. Non-ISO crypto tokens cannot integrate with the existing global financial system. So let's talk a little bit more about what that means. Many people in the ISO 20022 camp believe this standard, along with the bank's compliance with Basel III and Basel IV, is leading the way for a new, healthier financial system, sometimes called the quantum financial system. And I genuinely hope that this is the case because the non-ISO crypto world looks pretty unhealthy to me. And if it keeps going down its current path, I can't see it being better than our existing financial system. In fact, in my opinion, non-ISO decentralized finance looks a whole lot like the existing broken financial system, or at least it's beginning to look a lot like that. Now, what do I mean? Just look at how much the derivatives market has grown in DeFi in the last few years. Most of the TVL, total value locked, in decentralized finance these days is liquid products like staked ETH, liquid staked ETH, and wrapped staked ETH. These are all derivatives and are only loosely tied to the actual asset, Ether. In truth, I've been leery of all these derivatives right from the beginning. But this idea didn't start with me. I actually learned to be cautious about derivatives from an early Bitcoin developer and speaker named Andreas Antonopoulos. He saw the writing on the wall early on, so luckily I got educated early on. And I've been watching this development of derivatives becoming more and more and more and more over the last few years. And if you haven't already watched the video that I posted in the MasterMind called The Great Taking, I highly recommend that everyone go watch it. It's about it's less than a 90-minute video of an insider, I'll call him a banking or investor insider in the existing financial world. And he really lays out perfectly how and why the fall of our current system will be because of derivatives. So go watch it. ISO 20022 tokens versus non-ISO tokens. So according to my research, all crypto tokens are currently non-ISO compliant, except for a few. And here are the top ISO compliant crypto tokens that I've been able to find. Many of these you will recognize, some you may not. XRP is at the top, and it's designed for efficient cross-border payments. Stellar is next in line, which is the XLM token, and it focuses on facilitating international transactions between people. And XRP, of course, is trying to do cross-border payments between institutions. Algorand, or their Algo token, supports smart contracts and aims for high-speed transactions. Quant, with the QNT token, enables interoperability between different blockchain networks. And in just a moment, I'm going to show you a chart that will give you an idea of how all of these projects and tokens are related to each other. The next one in line here is Hedera Hashgraph, and their token is HBAR. And it utilizes a unique distributed ledger technology for fast transactions. One you may or may not have heard of is IOTA. Their token got changed to the acronym MIOTA, and they focus on the Internet of Things using their very unique blockchain called a DAG, a directed acyclic graph. The next one is one that is becoming near and dear to my heart is XDC Network. Their token is XDC. They used to be called Zenfin, and their focus is on trade finance and secure transactions. And they have been in the news lately, especially on Twitter, about how they're bringing real-world assets onto their network. And I'll leave it at that for right now because I didn't have time to research that today. Other tokens that may also be compliant are Cardano's ADA token. These I couldn't verify, so I'm listing them here just so you know that they might be, but I wasn't able to clearly verify that they are indeed ISO 20022 compliant. So the Cardano ADA token emphasizes sustainability, scalability, and interoperability of smart contracts. And another one I'm not super familiar with is called Verge, and their token is XBG. And they're aiming to provide enhanced privacy and security for cross-border transactions. And I wouldn't be surprised if there are others, but those are the ones that I could find. So let's take a look at this image. And I'll do my best to zoom in a little bit more. There we go, that's even better. So I find this image quite fascinating, and I highly recommend it when you have time to study it a little bit. What I found interesting is right in the center of it is Quant, and they're called the Overledger, and they are the project, if you will, that ties all of the other projects with their tokens. It ties them all together. And so it's worth taking a look at Quant. They are a fairly centralized project, but you can buy the Quant token and it might be a good investment for the future. You'll notice that in the four corners are the four projects that really hold the whole thing together. And that's Ripple, XDC, IOTA, and Hedera Hashgraph. But in addition to those, there is also Stellar on one side and Algorand on the other. So those are the main 7 tokens: Quant, Ripple, XDC, Algorand, IOTA, Hedera Hashgraph, HBAR, and Stellar's XLM. When you have time, I would recommend taking a look at some of the smaller print on this document and see if you can follow where other things might fit in. For example, in the upper right quadrant, you might recognize the USDC logo, sorry. So I'm kind of wondering if one of these stable coins will eventually become ISO 20022 compliant. Right now, they are not, but there is room for that. There's also, there isn't a CBDC token right now that is ISO compliant. I thought that was interesting. And there might be a few other things on here that you could find to look at, but I'm going to let you do that some more on your own time. Let's go see what else I have in the webinar for you today. So what exactly does all this mean? As I said in the beginning, people in crypto tend to fall into one of these two camps, the non-ISO camp or the ISO camp. People in the ISO camp like to buy the ISO compliant tokens listed above with an emphasis on XRP and XLM, while everyone else wants to focus on Ethereum, Bitcoin, Solana, Avalanche, and many, many other chains that I'm not going to list here. And these are all non-ISO compliant blockchains and their tokens. Now, as for me, I'm playing in both camps. The new financial system some people call the QFS isn't here yet, at least not for you and me. So in the meantime, I cautiously make money with non-ISO tokens and I hold ISO tokens for the future. And that's all I have time for my training today. I think that this subject is worth looking into much more deeply. I would love to have also spent some time talking about the Basel III and Basel IV compliance architecture and see how that ties into ISO 20022. But this, this research takes some time, and that's as much as I had time to put together today before 5 o'clock my time. So I hope you found it somewhat useful. If you did, as always, I'd love to hear your comments. But I hope you enjoyed today's Money Monday Live webinar, and I will share this publicly on the first Monday, the recording of it anyway, on the first Monday of September. If you want to get the recording sooner, please consider joining my Let's Crypto Mastermind. It is the most affordable crypto education platform on the internet right now, with the basic plan costing only $8 a month. And you'll receive trusted, curated information and access to crypto experts like myself. So as always, please stay curious, keep learning, and share your thoughts or questions with me wherever you can. So that's all I have for now. See you next week. Take care.